Yeah, Nathan. I had that Nathan stuck in my head.
I mean,
Nathan.
no. You can call me Nate. Call me Nate.
No, I want to say Nathan. I'm thinking of it as one Nathan. We say one nothing, but I'm saying one Nathan. So, man, all is well. You know, this the pandemic and all the things that's going on in this world has it's a time that's created more clarity for me.
Right.
More clarity. Things are slowed down. Allow things to become more clear and doing more self-study.
Yeah. So before we get into the questions, I'm gonna let Vedant introduce him more, so you know about him more.
Yeah. So what's going on? I'm Vedant. I'm 14 years old, president of Global Kid Media. I started when I was 11. I've done 1,000+ star interviews since, 100 show episodes or 150 show episodes. And I'm working to be that first kid on national TV as a sports sideline reporter, host, or producer.
Keep up the good work, man. I saw a couple of your videos. You're doing a great job, man. It was enjoyable to watch you. So keep going.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I guess my first question to you is, when did you get interested in playing baseball, and who is your biggest influencer in that?
Man, I got interested at a very young age, man. Probably when I could, first pick up a bat. I don't know if you remember those big red plastic bats with the big barrel, and you had the wiffle ball. So I remember just doing that in the house, and then growing up playing wiffle ball with my brother, playing baseball, actually with tennis balls in the tennis courts, and so it's been just like a natural love, so to speak. Something that our father nourished in us at a very young age. My dad, he used to have a bag of this red bag of balls that he'd have in the back of his car, and at any time we might just pull over and just start hitting baseballs at a park. So. We loved all sports. I played all different sports. Growing up in Colorado, we did some ice skating.
Oh, wow.
But it was really like, man, whatever season it was, we were playing. But my first love was always baseball. And my dad, like I said, he got us into that. And then he going to high school at Cherry Creek High School and playing for Coach Mark Johnson, who, really instilled that love. Kept that love going, because this guy absolutely is he's a baseball lifer. Like, he bleeds baseball. I joke around, but man, this guy's gonna die on a baseball field.
Man, I want to ask about, now you're doing stuff with speaking and post MLB career that you have here to really try to impact other people's lives. Why is that so important to you? When did you realize that was something that you wanted to do?
If you would have asked me like 10 years ago when I was actually still playing baseball, what I was going to do, I think this would have been maybe the last thing. Well, not even the last thing, but I never saw myself doing this, but I did know that I wanted to do something in baseball. I didn't know exactly what it was. And when I look back at my career and understand how important the mental aspect of anything is, not only baseball, but everything that we do, this emotional awareness, being able to make adjustments. If I could go back and change anything in my career, it'd be that. Understanding that the mental game is a skill, just like throwing a baseball, swinging a bat. We can develop our mental game the same way, and I know that it's a game changer. And let me tell you why. Because any decision I look back on, I'm like, man, that probably wasn't a good decision, and I'm like, okay, why wasn't it a good decision? Because it was usually an emotional decision, right? So when we make decisions from emotion, they tend to not be the best decision.
Right.
But if we can learn to recognize and become aware of these emotions, and learn to be comfortable with these emotions and just sit with these emotions are like thoughts. They come and they go, right? And so creating that space of allowing it to come and go, that's the game changer, right? So I wish I'd have been learning that in school.
Yeah.
You know, not only school, but my school was baseball and life. So I know, so to really answer your question, I know that how important this stuff is, and I know that it's the game changer. You know, this is our superpower that we all have. It doesn't take talent. This stuff doesn't take talent. We're talking about stuff that I can do, you can do. We all can do these things and practice these things and get better at them. And that's isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that right. In this generation, for kids to be able to utilize these platforms like what he's doing, Global Kid Media, and what these other kids are doing, it's just amazing what I'm seeing from these people. And but my next question to you, I want to get to your MLB career. So I'm a big Yankee fan. So you play for the Yankees too, and that was I saw you play with the Yankees, and you played with a lot of teams throughout your career, and you got to play with 3 different teams in the AL East, the Orioles, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. So what was it like playing in the AL East for 3 different teams and getting to experience a rivalry between Red Sox and the Yankees? But I think we have a new one in the Yankees and Rays. But what was it like getting both sides of the spectrum?
It was even though my time in New York was short lived. Like I always said, if you would have blinked, you would have missed me. But first thing, the AL East, I consider the AL East is like the varsity of baseball. Like that's the varsity league. That's the big boys.
Yeah.
And to be able to compete against, I joke around that I had to try to make my living off of guys like CC Sabathia, David Price,
Yep.
Ricky Romero. Like these guys are elite pitchers, man. But for me, it was like I consider it was like a heavyweight fight, man. And either you're gonna get me or I'm gonna get you. That was my mindset. And my mindset was, man, I'm not even supposed to be here. You're supposed to get me out. So I was playing with house money at that time, but I love the competition. I love to compete. That's what I miss most about the game is that competition, man. It's so fun. The Yankees, you look at so I think the Yankees are like the corporate world. This is corporate, it's business, suit and tie.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox that's the blue collar, the worker, the grinders, and that was the mindset that we had over there, that we were grinding. And it made it easier to have that type of mindset when you're playing alongside guys like Dustin Pedroia, Kevin Youkilis,
Big Poppy.
Big Poppy, and even Big Poppy. Big Poppy's he's a superstar. Like that's a superstar. And he could play anywhere and look good anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's something about like guys like the Youkilis, Kevin Pedroia, Mike Lowell. Like these guys were probably guys that were told that they weren't going to make it. You guys aren't going to be big leaguers.
Right.
And they had to work for everything that they got. And they took that. You could tell by the way they went about their business day in and day out that they didn't take any of those things for granted. And so it was kind of like it was a different mindset, different mentality, I felt.
One person I talked to was Pedro Martinez, who, he can tell you this stuff about the mental side of the game big time. Speaking of which, a mental skills trainer for the Cubs, first ever. What was that experience like for you when you heard that was even a role? What was your initial thoughts? And when you got there, obviously the next year winning that World Series, how much did that role do for you?
Um, Probably my first thought would be, man, awesome, because all that stuff that I went through and mistakes that I made and things that I learned from my career, those things aren't going to go in vain. And my hope is that I could help somebody expedite their process of getting to the big leagues and fulfilling their dream. Um, and then to win a World Series with the Chicago Cubs, like,
Yes.
holy cow, like 108 years, World Series, and to be able to work alongside people like Joe Madden, Ken Ravizza, who's a pioneer in the mental game. Like, it doesn't get any better than these things, man. It was definitely a real blessing for me, because I told you, when I was playing baseball, I don't have a college degree. My degree was in baseball. And so towards the end of my career, I'm wondering, like, man, what am I going to do? And, agent, this and whatever, I didn't know, And so to have an opportunity to come and work with the Cubs, and then eventually help to develop this mental skills program
Right.
it's unreal. And then to win a World Series on top of that, it was, if you can imagine what a party or a celebration would look like after 108 years, it was all that and then some more.
Yeah. So my next question to you, I want to get to your Yankees. Like I said, I'm a Yankee fan, so I want to get to your Yankees career. What was it like playing with teammates like Curtis Granderson, Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira, even Robinson Cano? We had a great team after the '09 World Series. We kept building it. But what was it like just playing with those type of players? And CC Sabathia, I can't forget CC.
CC Sabathia, all those guys, the Yankees. You just talk about the whole AL East, but the Yankees. That's the best part of my career, is being able to see, like, these are Hall of Fame players. Like, some of the guys, these are Hall of Famers, and not only are they Hall of Famers, but they're Hall of Fame people too. And that's how I learned how to be a big leaguer, by watching these guys, and how they go about their business day to day, and understanding that being a big leaguer, being a professional, is not just what people see on the baseball field. Like, all of it starts off the field and before the game, the pregame, and that's what it means to be a big leaguer. And when you see guys on that level, what I'd say, these are experts, man, and to be able to see it up close and personal that was my teacher, right? So that's what I take into these mental skills, right? And the thing about it, I know we talk about success leaves clues. Well, these guys have been really successful at the highest level for a long time. What are they doing? And to be able to take those things and to help other people done getting better, man. This is, when the stuff that I'm teaching this isn't coming from a book, right? This is coming from either experience or watching the best, man. And I think about when I did my teacher training, my yoga teacher training, and understanding, like, when you go and you do yoga, if you do yoga or you do anything, like, you're paying for people's experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no price that we can put on experience, man. You can't just go buy it. So when you say, what is it like to play with guys like that? I was just like being in, getting your master's degree.
Well, I want to ask about, obviously I've seen with my journey that, experience is priceless. You can't get that at school, like you said. And if you look at what's next for you, what other aspirations do you have? What other things do you want to try to conquer?
Myself, I want to help as many people as possible understand. I call what they call a happy practice, because it doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, you're in journalism, sports broadcast, corporate world, we're going to do everything better when we're happy, right? When we're working from a clear, calm space, when we feel good. And so, again, tell people the good news about that is that we can practice doing that. We can practice feeling good. We can practice being happy. We can intentionally wire our minds to do these things. And understanding what I didn't understand, right, is that we're doing it anyway, right? Whether we're doing it consciously or subconsciously. And hopefully we're practicing doing it consciously on purpose, succeeding on purpose. So I want to help people tap into that, tap into their superpower of being present, being in the moment, being in the zone, the flow state, whatever you want to call it. We've all been there at some point, and knowing that we can get to that same space more often is that's what peak performance is. You know what I'm saying? Peak performance, because again, you're gonna be at your best. When you're at your best, you're at your best. You're in this zone.
Right.
So how do I learn to get back there, right? And it's like that middle ground. Is that middle ground, instead of being way up here, and then down here you're really hot, or you're really cold. Well, Ken Revisa, he had a good saying. Ken Revisa, I don't know if you know Ken Revisa, but he you can check out some of his work in Heads Up Baseball. Mm-hmm. But he would say, you got to learn to have a good shitty day.
Yeah.
Think about that, So if we could learn to have that type of day, man, that's the game changer right there. Because we all can have a good day, right?
Right.
Well, I had bad days before, but how do we have a good shitty day?
Yeah, that's true. So my next question here for you, obviously, this season was unique. We're in a unique situation right now in baseball, and with the 60-game season, I just want to get your thoughts. Seeing all these young up-and-coming teams making the playoffs, like the Miami Marlins, like the Cincinnati Reds, the team you used to play for, and the Twins also, obviously going back to playoffs. But what's it like seeing this up-and-coming teams making the playoffs in this unique situation?
I hope, it's good to see. You want to see that in baseball. Loves competition. I thought it was exciting. It was way more exciting than I expected it to be when I talk about the season. Because to be honest, I didn't think that the season would even finish the season. So to see that happen, and then to see like the playoffs games, the quality of baseball that was being played, a lot of one-run games, really exciting games, says a lot about the teams. Now the next step is, once you get there, you can get there, and it gives you confidence. Now I want to see what these teams do when we play 142 games, or 162. Yeah. I'm sorry, 162 games with fans in the stands, right? Because I look at, and so also I want to discount the 60 games, because this was a different type of season. There was a lot of different challenges that even, as fans, we don't know about, and the travel and all the stuff they did there, and the keep everyone healthy was challenging. But what's really for baseball is, and how they always say baseball is a lot like life, is, man, it's a marathon. Like this was the 60 games was a sprint now, right? So now at 162, now we got to prepare for that marathon. And that's going to be the next step for those teams like the Miami Marlins, Cincinnati Reds. Obviously teams like Oakland and Tampa Bay, and the team, even the White Sox. The White Sox, I hope that they got a lot of confidence from this year and what they did, right? And they have a lot of young players, and they're going to be a team to look out for years to come. And the Braves, there's so many.
Yeah,
I can go on and on, but man, these teams are fun to watch. They're exciting. Yeah. So I'm excited about that as a fan, to see how they develop. I think the who do you guys have for the World Series? Who you taking?
I got the Dodgers in 7.
I said
Dodgers
Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6. So I'm not gonna lie. When it started, I said, man, I almost thought the Rays might sweep the Dodgers.
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. But I think the Dodgers they're playing their game now. And I hope that they keep doing it. When I say their game, the Rays are their analytics, and I think that's where Joe Madden led them to. Their analytics, and they do a great job of that. And they have great players, and they're able to put those players in good positions to be successful. And I know if teams try to play that game with them, they're playing their game. But now, after seeing what I think the Dodgers are more poised to do it. So I think it's going to come down to 7 games.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to pick a winner, to be honest with you. I think it'd go either way. But how about Mookie Betts, though?
Yeah. That guy is amazing what he's doing right now.
Holy moly. That guy that's a hell of a player there. And you look at what he's able to do with his size is so impressive, man. The guy does everything.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, being a Yankee fan, I said thank you for trading him, so we don't have to face him. Except if we make it to the World Series, we got to face him in the World Series if the Dodgers make it.
I know, right? I don't blame you. I'd feel the same way. Yeah, that guy's a game changer.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Yankees, like what's up with the Yanks?
I don't know what happened here because I think we fell short. We were gassed out, in my opinion. And the 60-game season does not fit well for the Yankees. 162-game season does, because I feel like this season was so rushed. And I'm not making any excuses here, but Garrett Cole was the only pitcher was consistent the whole year and even in the playoffs. So, and Tanaka too somewhat. But I think we need to get better like hitters, like DJ LeMahieu. We need more hitters like that. No more strikeout hitters, and we just need like a Michael Brantley type of player on the team.
Well, I guess it's easier said than done, right? But you said those type of hitters that are high contact hitters, something that put together good at bats, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to watch, man, and that's part of where the game's going too. Like, yeah, you need that mix.
Yeah,
that all or nothing philosophy that don't work in the playoffs. You can't live and die by that 3-run homer because you might just still be waiting for that 3-run homer. So you got to learn to do the little things. And the guys, when you say like DJ LeMahieu, that guy's a pretty good hitter, right? Does all the little things, right? I like Freddie Freeman. Oh, I can watch him hit all day.
One point I've been making too is that Tampa team in all sports has been standing out.
Yeah.
Won the Stanley Cup. In football, they're looking solid right now. Obviously, in baseball, they're in the World Series. When there's so much success around the city, I mean, even of LA, you think about LA's success they've seen as well, but being on different teams, especially of some of the cities with, I mean, arguably the best fans in the United States, what does that do for a city when there's so much success around all different teams?
I think one in particular, like Boston, Massachusetts, Boston, Beantown, it's sort of like, man, they expect it. They think winning's easy,
right? And
winning's not easy at any level. It's not easy to do. But it's kind of like the high school I went to. We won in everything, and people used to hate us, right? Because we won, but they didn't really see the hard work we put in and the attention to detail and all that type of stuff. But it's sad to say, you just get used to it. It's like Big Papi coming up in a big moment. Like we got to a point where we just got used to him coming through. Like we just expected it. Like, oh, he did it again. But it's really not that easy. I feel for Tampa, especially baseball, because you go to the, you're a playoff team. You're a good team. You're not like the shot in the bucket anymore. Like, you're good. And to be able to have to play in a place like that with no fans, terrible stadium, it's really, it's commendable what they do there. I don't know about the hockey and how that gets supported. I know Tom Brady's down there in Tampa, and it'd be interesting to see if they had the fans were there and what would happen with that. But the baseball in particular, man, they're getting spoiled. They're getting spoiled out there. The little fans that they do have and the little support. It'd be nice to see them get another stadium, and a stadium that people, that they can draw consistently and actually have like their own fan base. I don't even know how you create that, right? Because I think about when I was with the Red Sox and we go to Tampa, it was like a home game for the Red Sox, right? And no, like the Rays, no, you're good. No, you know what I'm saying? No, you're good. You're a team. You guys are guys. So it's good to see. And they like Oakland, too, to see what they do, man. And what they do with their market. It's awesome. It's good. It's good. It's good for baseball.
Yeah.
At least, like everybody has a chance.
Yeah, for sure. So my next question for you, obviously, you play for Boston, and what's it like not seeing their stars in Boston anymore, like Mookie Betts and Tom Brady? So how are the fans reacting there right now, not seeing their stars on their teams? And obviously in a different, it's weird. It's still weird seeing Tom Brady in a different uniform, by the way, because in the Tampa Bay colors. But I just want to get your perspective, how the city of Boston is taking this.
Well, I'm in AZ, so I'm not sure how they're taking it, but from my experience there is, when you're losing there and you're not winning, as a player, like, you probably want to do order your food in.
Yeah.
So you want to take takeout. Like, losing is not accepted there. I think it's going to take a few years for like the transition of the new guys. Like, who's the new Tom Brady? Who's the new laser show, the Mookie Betts?
Right.
It's creating some space for that guy. But I think the one thing, that you're saying about all those teams, there's at least one guy. You're like, that's the guy. You thought in the past, you thought of Tom Brady. Red Sox, it was, David Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. Like, I don't know who's on the Celtics right now. Like, who's the guy? Garnett or
Tatum.
Pearson.
Jason
like
Tatum.
In general.
Yeah.
So it's hopefully one of those guys can step in there, because that's the city of champions for a reason. They have a lot of banners to prove that. And I don't think they won't be down for long.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask about, if you were a player in 2020 having to deal through coronavirus, how would you adjust to that? Were you someone that fed off the crowd energy? Were you someone that really zoned everything out?
Man, it wouldn't have been the same. Like, for me, it's called the show for a reason. Like,
right.
The show, like the minor leagues, it was tough to play in the minor leagues. That's tougher than playing in the big leagues. And you get up for a game with 500 fans or 5,000 fans. It's easy to get up for a game for me with 50,000 packed house every night. So I really enjoyed, like, the best. I really felt like the best came out for me being able to play in a place like Boston where they expected to win. And, there's an expectation every game. I like that. I really thrived off that. Like we kind of talked about before, the thing is, as a professional, you got to learn how to do it with or without, man. You got to learn how to get yourself up and get yourself ready to go. And at the end of the day, the best part is the competition. We get to compete. We get to compete against somebody in a different uniform. And that's the thing that I was really impressed with, is that the level of competition we saw throughout the year with no fans.
Right.
Like it was good games. They're good games, regular season, and all the way through the playoffs and now the World Series. And it's a testament to the players. That's how good they are. That's why they're professionals. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it says here, I keep forgetting to upgrade my Zoom. So it says here we have like 7 minutes left, 7 minutes 52 seconds left. So we're gonna do our segments here. So for my show, I do a rapid fire segment. I think I told you about it before, and his show, Radon, does another segment called Flip the Switch. So I'm gonna let him do his segment first here before I go through
Yeah.
mine.
So basically, the Flip the Switch segment, we have the person, I have the person I'm talking to ask us a couple questions. So you can ask me and Nathan anything you want.
Okay. So let's start with number one would be, what inspired you to get into what you're doing now?
Nathan, you want me to go
Oh,
first?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. So I started on like the speaking circuit, or wanting to go into the speaking circuit, not necessarily on it. When I was like 8 years old, I saw this poem at my cousin's house in India that said, "You are a special person." And I took that back to a high school where there was a lot of mental health issues. And I read that poem on the announcements. And basically the effect was an English teacher wrote, her whole class was in tears. I said, okay, I have something with communication. What am I going to do with that? And I wanted to get on that speaking circuit and talk about different things. An opportunity came up to cover a media event. And so I did that. And from there, I realized what the goal was going to be. There's no kids on national TV in broadcasting as far as sports go. And so I'm going to be that first one, whether that's as a host, producer, reporter, whatever it is, I'm going to be that one. So I've done 1,000+ interviews since. I talked to pretty much a lot of the big guys in every sport and just working towards that goal.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah. So for me, I do another podcast with my other friends, but we put that on hold for now. So we're just building our own brand. So I started this podcast back in March, beginning of the pandemic, and because I wanted, since the sports shut down, I said, let me start something here where I can interview people at the right time, and obviously I was able to get tons of guests on, and keep my friends entertained and other people entertained with the podcast. And all my friends say, how you're at 570 episodes already. I say it's all about working hard, hustling. I've done 6 or 7 episodes in one day. So it's about hustling and keeping at it, and then reaching out to these guests. I don't give up, and people know that I don't give up. And I just I go at it. The guests I want, I message them until they agree, or I've gotten so many no's too. So that's the business. So.
And that's the key, right, man? It's to keep going after you get those no's.
Yeah.
You know. So I would say, what is the ultimate goal or dream, vision of and where does that take you?
So I would say, I mean, I want to do this media stuff in the short term, but the long-term goal is more so to grow Global Media as a platform, as a brand for other kids as well. I always give the example, if there's a 5-year-old who likes to cook, let's get them a cooking show, because who doesn't want to see a 5-year-old in the kitchen, right? Or if there's a 7-year-old who likes to draw, let's put them in front of a canvas and get them connected to the best artists in the world, and kind of get that out there as well. Who doesn't want to see that? And so I want to be a platform for other kids. The other thing I'm passionate about is social issues. For example, the whale hunt that happens in Japan and Iceland. I've been wanting for a long time to go out to Japan, go out to Iceland, and go to different schools, educate kids about what's really happening. So then by the time their generation is up, they can make that change, or even now, peacefully protest. And so I was out at the Super Bowl with MSC Cruises initiative called #SuperCoralPlay. It's about preserving corals in the oceans, because if those go bleached out, there goes your entire ocean. And so those are kind of the things I'm passionate about.
We got to find that. We got to create that platform for you then, man, huh?
I mean, like you said, and I was saying on a couple of days ago, I think there's been 1 million things I've applied or asked for. I probably got 999,950 no's. So it's rare that you find that yes, but you got to make the most out of it.
Wow. You manifesting just some stuff over there, huh?
Yeah, so for me, I'm currently going for my correctional officer field, but that's on hold because of COVID. So I'm really focused on this, and I'm trying. My goal is to be on ESPN or NFL Network or some kind of sports channel, and making my name bigger. And actually, my podcast is growing now. So at this point, I'm looking for sponsors too, and trying to grow it, and then hopefully. I've interviewed a lot of people from ESPN and NFL Network, so hopefully at some point they reach out to me to come on their team. So
okay,
yeah.
And so my last question I'd have is, what's been your best moment so far? Your best interview?
I mean, my favorite interview by far was not with a sports star. There was these kids from the Special Olympics, so I got a chance to talk to at the Pro Bowl in 2019, and hearing their story, learning about their attitude in life and the way they look at things was inspirational. So that's one thing that I'm really, really proud to have been able to do.
Yeah,
very cool, man.
So for me, I would say Isaiah Thomas, the former Detroit Piston. He came on the show, especially on my 25th birthday. So it took me 4 months to get that done. His daughter helped me out to get the interview done, and he came on for like 45 minutes, and that was a great conversation. Obviously, one of the best players in the NBA to play, and does a lot of great stuff in the community and all. So that was one of my most memorable interviews. It says we have under less than a minute, so. Here's my last question to you. What would you like to say to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers?
I'd like to say thank you for all your hard work, your love, your passion, your service. Keep up the good work, and we all sending love, and good vibes.
Well said. Yeah, well said. And there it is, episode 571. With co-host Vedant from Global Kid Media and special guest Darnell McDonald, former MLB player, outfielder. Thank you for joining us, Darnell. Keep up the great work. You're such an inspiration. And if you don't mind, can you mention our podcast to some of your former teammates that you keep in touch with?
Yeah, I will. And I'll pass along if you have anything on social media or something. I'd love to retweet and spread the word and awareness of what you guys are doing, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you for having me, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. I'll be posting this on all social media formats too.
Sounds good.